Hello, everybody. What's up? How is everybody doing? Hello, No Injustice Lasts Forever. He's gonna be washing his dishes while doing this, while listening to this. That's totally cool. Multitasking for the win. What's up, Lambret Bowens? I'm so sorry. I apologize so much for this. Um, if you let me know how to pronounce that, I'll try to remember. Hello, Tone. Hello, Rich. How you doing? A friendo, what is up? Axel is in the house. The LTN. Hello, hello, hello. And Alpha Caros is here as well. Alpha Caros is asking, will my arguments be ranked S tier? Well, I've really bad news for you, my dear. Hold on. There you go. No, this is the thing. There is no S tier. Oh, I'm so sorry. What's up, Neil? How you doing? Better Karos. I do like it. Although, don't be evil towards Alpha Karos. He's trying. He's trying. Hello, Twisted. How are you? So, as I said, there are no S tiers in the house right now. There are only these. D tier, that's where we're starting. Because, frankly, Alpha Cars, there are no good arguments against veganism. So we must start low. How the fuck am I gonna put something in an S tier if it's like all of it is brain dead arguments that have nothing to do with reality, right? So we started in a D tier, we continue into F. Then there is gross. After that, there is brain rot. And the last one, the worst one, is plant sentience. Both the argument itself, it just has its own tier. Just like pointing at the fact that some arguments are just like didn't come from sentient beings, it seems. That's how bad they are. All right. Good. Lol, the best you can do is D. That's true. What about protein? Though I'm not sure it's in there. So what I did, I stole Felek. I think he created an actual bingo card. And what I did, and he posted all of the arguments that he included in the bingo card in a side channel of the Discord server. And I just stole that. And then I kind of made them into these little thingies. But I haven't looked at them too closely. I just copy-pasted a bunch of them just to make it really, really fast. I need to start clipping from my stream. There are things you can do like kind of automatically, although I don't like that. I tried it a couple of times. There are quite a few of those on my YouTube channel. But they don't know what they're clipping. You just kind of... But then again, Axel, just taking from your 24-hour live stream, that's also a pain. So maybe use... Oh, you wouldn't be able to anyways if it's that long. Unless you pay for it. Anyways, streams, haha, nice. Do they never? You just refuse to accept we are not utilitarians. No, they never. Who said that? The vegans on Discord struggle against my new arguments called X amount. S-tier argument for real. I haven't seen it. But Alpha Caros, I already caught you using my arguments. So, against other meat eaters. So I'm just gonna hold that over your head forever. What's up, the real thing? Like the stream? Yes, please. All right, let's begin. So I was considering like creating criteria by which I'm gonna put them in here. And I kind of do have a few criteria in mind. So for instance, how much it has to do with actual veganism. It starts at D tier, so none of it almost. How much? What's up, cheap? Hello, Arise Saloin. get a dick in life? Okay. You are here, so, you know, tell that to yourself or something. People are so weird. Getting into my stream, like, get a life. What the fuck are you doing? What's up, the vegan anthem? So yeah, I was thinking like the criteria probably would be something like how much it has to do with actual veganism, because most of it doesn't. How much it comports with actual reality in the world, because most of it doesn't. So there will be no clips from that. I don't know. Sorry, Axel. Let's talk about it later if you want. The last one would be like how much it's easy to debunk or something like that. What's up, Light of Logic? I'm just gonna kind of wing it, just based on feelings, the way vegans do usually, right? I'm just gonna go based on feelings after dismantling the argument, of course. So let's begin. It's gonna be something like that. The first one is vegans can't make a difference. That's the first argument that I have on the roster. Vegans can't make a difference. So I think this argument is it doesn't comport with reality much, because in the past 10 years, the world changed so much to accommodate veganism already. And it would be kind of brain rot to say this, because not only can we see the world changing, right? And not only to accommodate us, but to like reduction in some sectors as well, despite human intake growing exponentially, and humans just becoming more and more humans, frankly. So vegans can't make a difference. It also doesn't really have a conversation with actual veganism, because in the end, one vegan can spare like 300 animals a year. So that's a difference for those individuals. But this is one of those things that just goes into like a circle of conversation, right? So I would say it's kind of hard to debunk because it's so broad. It could mean literally anything. People can bring all kinds of associations into this. So it's hard to argue, although it doesn't comport to reality like at all. So I would say it's not terrible, though. I would say it's an F tier, based on feelings, totally based on feelings. What's up, Pia? How are you doing? Yes, I am close to 1,000K. To 1K, I mean. 1,000K. Jesus Christ. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, sub to me, please. Animals can't consent is the next one. This one is truly baffling, although I understand that kind of most people don't understand what consent is and don't take this argument to the logical conclusion, right? Which is, if you find, let's say, a human dependent person who can't consent, would that make it okay to do stuff to them, right? The answer would be no. So why would that be different for animals? So what we usually do with beings who can't consent is don't do stuff to them that isn't in their best interest. So I would basically put this in gross, because it's just really hard for me to see how little people know about consent. Right. Animals can't craft or build is the next one. So this is kind of like, if I understand correctly, this is one of those humans build civilizations. This is like the difference between animals and humans that people usually point out. Humans can build civilizations, they can make cell phones, and they can build a bunch of stuff, and they can ruin a bunch of stuff as well. Nobody's mentioning that shit usually. Therefore, it's okay to kill animals. So, first of all, complete failure of logic there, because it takes about 1 second of scrutiny to realize that, oh, guys, listen, most of us haven't built a goddamn fucking thing in our lifetimes. And I bet all of us know toddlers who don't build anything. We all know people who will never be capable of building anything. But also, what the fuck does this have to do with whether it's okay or not to kill a creature, right? So it's like two things that don't even belong in the same sphere. Humans build these things, therefore it's not okay to kill them. Animals don't build things, except a lot of them do. Therefore it's okay to kill them. Kind of weird. So I would actually put this one in brain rot. I think that's the first brain rot argument we had so far. No plant sentience argument yet, but let's await. The next is animals hunting animals. That's the next argument. So this is one point people point out, I think, usually that, well, animals eat meat. Why can't we eat meat? And I think intuitively it kind of belongs in the gross section, because there is a bunch of shit that animals do that humans generally don't do to each other or to animals, or we find it abhorrent to do to each other or to animals. So pointing at that as like a cherry-picked thing that animals do. Some animals do, by the way, not all animals, not by a long shot. It's kind of, I don't know, between gross and brain rot. It's one of those two things. I think it belongs in gross next to animals can't consent. I think so. Let me know, by the way, if I'm like totally wrong on something. Let me know. Hey, what's up, Jordy? Tag me if you're completely disagree, and we can duke it out really quickly. Animals will go extinct is the next argument. So this one is the other side of the coin of animals will overpopulate, I think. Animals will go extinct. So they're talking about farmed animals, and if we stop breeding them, then they will no longer exist. So like the dairy cows who can barely walk will no longer exist. The Franken chickens that can barely stand after 2 weeks of life, those animals are not going to exist. What a goddamn tragedy. And to that I usually try to ask what the fuck is wrong with that? What is wrong with actual extinction? And I haven't gotten a good argument for it yet. It usually comes with just like them saying, oh, what kind of an animal activist are you if you're trying to extinct an animal? To which I answer, I'm trying to save the individuals, right? The individuals can hopefully still live. But why on earth would we continue breeding animals that was so modified that the only thing they can do is produce once we stopped once we stopped thinking that it's okay for them to produce shit for us, right? Why on earth would we continue breeding those animals? It's just, I think this is the first plant sentience. It's just so bad. And it's so prevalent, which is painful. I think it's a little prevalent in the vegan community sometimes as well. Like this guttural reaction to extinction without kind of an explanation to it. Why, like, as long as the sentient individuals are not harmed, why extinction itself is bad, especially if the animal really suffers, right? Just from being her own genetics or something like that. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna put it in plant sentience. I think this is a really bad argument. If you disagree with me, tag me. We can fight. Animals would take over the earth. There you go. That's the other side of the coin. Hey, hello, Bianca. What's up? The vegan anthem, as usual, is fighting Alpha Caros. Bless you both. Why do you do this to yourselves? I don't know. But, you know, I appreciate the whatever, the XP or whatever there is to grow there these days. That's plant sentience tier. Yeah. Plant sentience is the worst tier. Animals will take over the earth. This is again just like blatantly not understanding what is happening. This is the other side of the coin. Here where they don't understand that animals are bred into existence, right? They're thinking, well, the wild animals, if you just let them do their own thing, right? Herbivores, if you let them do their own thing, they overpopulate. They can look at like feral hogs, you know, stealing crops and stuff in America or something like that. And I go, oh my God, if we just let them go, and the assumption is that we should let those animals go into the wild or something like that, the animals are going to overpopulate the earth, which is of course absurd. Why would we let these vulnerable animals who were not only bred into domestication, but were also taken away from their family, most likely. They have zero skills altogether, right? Because like if an animal, there are some things that are like instinctual, but other things that animals usually learn from their parents. And in animal agriculture, those animals are taken away from their parents at birth, or not allowed to be with parents at birth, like in case of chickens. So those vulnerable animals that we brought into existence, why would we release them into the wild? That would be like fucking massacre. My point is usually we should stop breeding them. We should take care of the animals that already exist, the individuals that already exist. We should keep separating them, males from females, the way we do already, and take care of them until their natural deaths, and just don't breed them anymore, because the breeds are meant to suffer, they're meant to produce, and they're meant to suffer. So why would we bring them into existence? But this is not, I would say it doesn't totally not comport with reality. So actually, it's just an error. They're just not like realizing something about how farms work, right? So I would actually put it in D tier. Oh, the arguments just don't want to go into D tier, damn it. Apex predators. Supposedly the meaning is that we as human beings are apex predators. I just don't even know what to say. Like it's rewriting history. It's applying like characterizations that are in nature to unnatural stuff, right? Because humans are no longer in nature, and the thing that makes us killing machines if we decide to be so, is unnatural stuff. So guns, knives, things like that. We use our intellect to create shit to make us killing machines. So it's just like absolutely like gone away so much from reality. It's just like a category error. It's basically a category error. And I don't know what to say. It's pretty bad. I would put it in brain rot, I think. I hope you guys disagree with me on this. Apex predators is definitely a brain rot argument against veganism. Bacon though is just, we don't even need to discuss this. This is just, it's not an argument. It's just food tastes good. It's prevalent. It's not very well thought out, in my opinion. It doesn't rely on any kind of smarts. So it's just plant sentience, in my opinion. Oh, Brent, I missed you so much in my life. Yes, usually apex predator is a category in nature. And nature, by definition, is everything that isn't human-made. That's the definition of nature. So applying categories from nature to the unnatural lives of humans is a category error. It's illogical. It's just sad, Bianca says. Yeah. Bad ethical is subjective. My favorite thing that I hate. So it's basically like morality is subjective though, guys. So we can just do whatever we want. Something that doesn't hold up to scrutiny more than a couple of minutes, usually. Especially when I just like grab a pen and a piece of paper and start threatening their lives, asking them for where they live. It just falls apart in about a second. This morality subjective thing, which again, just to make sure we're on the same page. Morality is subjective. By that we mean that it's a construct of a mind and not something like outside. It's also, I think it's part of morality subjective claim that it's prone to context. So it's not always wrong to kill. It's almost always wrong to kill. And there are contexts in which it's okay, it's justifiable to kill, or even the most moral thing to do is to kill. So I think what makes morality subjective, because it's made up by our minds, it's made up by our preference as sentient beings. It's just like born from our minds and not from like an outside God or whatever. But also context. Context is incredibly important and what makes morality subjective, frankly. When you look at the context of a situation, you could go something that is immoral in another context could become moral in this context. I think it's a huge cop-out. Morality is subjective, though. Or bad ethical is subjective. I think, but because the people who usually like make this claim are kind of a little not too stupid, I'm gonna put it in a D tier if I can fucking make it. Hold on. There you go. They just don't want to go to D tier. That's just what's happening. Special pleading on your part, actually, but whatever. No, it's a literal category error. It's not special pleading. It's literally definitionally a wrong thing to apply to unnatural human life. Brent, get the fuck out. Frankly, I usually don't do this, you know. I have like quite a few trolls. Otfocaris is one of them. Dennis was one of them. I really didn't want to get rid of Dennis, but just like people who are watching me wanted me to get rid of him. I'm really, really good at like absorbing people and their I don't know, like objections to my logic and stuff like that. But you're just bad at it, and you just like everything that you blame me on, you project on me. The Dunning-Kruger effect. By the way, what are your credentials? You never answered to me. What are your credentials, Brent, that you think you know more about what sentience is than me? Because if you have the same credentials as I do, zilch, then you're fucking Dunning-Kruger effect in reincarnation. Yeah, get out. Jesus fucking Christ. Some people are just too insufferable. And this person is vegan, and they burned like weeks out of my life on nothing. Jesus Christ. It's really hard to make me actually lose my mind, right? Most of the time when I'm like, you know, screaming and yelling at people, it's performative, right? I'm keeping incredibly cool. But this person actually fucking annoys me. I should fucking like block them or something. What's up, Oluwale? It's actually special pleading. No, it's fucking not. It's not fucking special pleading. You don't know what special pleading is. The way you don't know what sentience is. The way you like don't know like the most basic shit. Okay, I'm gonna stop. What's up, Vegan Marshmallow? Very nice. Are you actually creating content, Vegan Marshmallow? Let me know. I'm gonna ask everybody to subscribe to you. All right. Fuck. I need a second, guys. Some people just get under my skin. Holy shit. Nope, debunked. Nope. Fuck. What's up, Jason? Okay, let's continue. Canine teeth. So this one I'm immediately just gonna put in D tier, I think. Not because it's like smart, because who the fuck gives a shit in the 21st century what our adaptations are to omnivory or whatever, right? Or who gives a shit? In the 21st century, we are more like capable of being on any diet, frankly, right? If carnivores weren't doing it stupidly, they would be able to be on a carnivore diet if they took statins, if they took very special multivitamins. They could continue to be on that diet for many, many years, right? Until they get cancer or something. But so in the 21st century, our actual adaptations to whichever diet, they're absolutely meaningless because we have ways to mitigate all whichever diet we are going for. But it's at least trying to be somewhat scientific, despite being completely unscientific. But it's trying, right? So that's why I put it in D tier. It's so prevalent, though. Let me rethink that for a second. Is anybody gonna push back on me putting this in D tier? I don't know. It's just so prevalent, and it's so like, oh, but we'll do canine teeth, though. We have these teeth, so we must slaughter animals in the 21st century. It's completely unafforded, says Davey. Hey, what's up, Davey? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I've never heard of carnassials. Um, the canine zoo doesn't make any sense anyway. Those teeth are just a mammal trait. Yeah. All mammals have them. That's true. Yeah, you convinced me. I'm gonna put it in, but I can't put it in gross. I'm gonna put it in F tier. Should I? Yeah, it's trying to be, but it has no merit. It has zero merit. F. Okay, we'll put it in F. That's fine. It just takes seconds to like debunk, so that's fine. Cows, pigs are not pets is the next one. Let me just make it bigger. Cows and pigs are not pets. This one is another weird one because I don't know how people think that matters. I just really literally don't understand it. Like when I was a carnist, I wasn't thinking like this. I was like, yeah, fuck dogs. We can eat dogs. That's fine. So I literally don't understand this one. If anybody can put it in a tier for me, please do. I don't know what to do with this one. So cows, pigs are not pets. The pet thing, and I'm usually even like kind of struggle to have a conversation about it because it's just so. Why does this matter? It's literally de-animalization or dehumanization or whatever, right? It's de-sentientization. Maybe we should make that new category. Because why does it matter what you think about them? They're a being on their own. Why does that matter? I just don't understand. So, yeah. Can you please, somebody tell me where to put cows, pigs, and not pets? Anybody? Anybody, please? Beans? Anybody? Alphacarus? Where should I put this? Neil says F. I'd put it under plant sentience. Well, there is no under plant sentience. Yeah, but it's one of those, it's really, really fucking annoying to me why people think that matters. I just really, really don't understand it. I should find a good way to like dismantle it in seconds because it's annoying to me. I think just because it's annoying to me, I'm gonna put it in plant sentience. I appreciate that light of logic. So the next one is culture though. Culture though is when people point at specific cultures and they say, well, it's part of that our culture, my culture, it's part of my culture to eat meat, as if their culture exists that except for maybe somewhere Hindus, a few Hindus where eating meat is not part of their cultures, and it's always about meat, but we had this discussion on the channel before, so meat eaters, by meat they mean all animal products usually. But culture though, I kind of, this one is just gross, you think? I kind of want to put it higher. Hey, what's up, Burberry? Hello, Mariana. How you doing? So, I'm not sure. Cultural. I kind of want to put it higher because I understand why people really value culture, right? It's kind of a big thing for a lot of people on all fronts, right? So I would actually find this like an actual obstacle in people's minds against veganism and not just trolling. So I would put it in D tier for that reason. I know it's gross, I know. Yeah, I know, I understand. I know. But it's like actually the thing that keeps people from veganism, I think. The culture, the family, I put the family in there, the friends. It's actually the thing that is hard about deciding to go vegan, I would say, right? It's not a good justification, obviously. It's not a good justification to hurt animals just because your friends are going to give you some tough time, right? And yeah, it can justify a lot of things, but I think I'll keep it in D. Jordi, sorry about that. So the next one is denial of factual evidence. So denial of factual evidence, I think there is no choice but to put it in plant sentience, because that's the most brain dead thing to say. Doing good. Also, hi. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Yesterday was a little hard, but I recuperated pretty fast. I don't know. I'm close to reaching my goal on YouTube, and so I'm kind of like, let's go already, because I've been working towards this for a really, really long time. And yeah, I'm 13 people away, by the way, so that's not too bad. Maybe I should share this on this stream on somewhere. So give me a sec. This is like share the stream pause for a second. I'll put it on Blue Sky or something. Tier list for anti-vegan, anti-vegan arguments. Come say hi. And let's grab a share a link. Sorry guys, one sec. Be right back. Just really... oh shit. Why did I do that? One sec. Pictures. Screenshots. The last one. There you go. Arguments. Why am I so bad at typing all of a sudden? Maybe it's the fame going into my head. Hey, what's up, Felek? How you doing? Tier listing. There you go. Post. What did you think of my bingo list? Well, I stole it, Felek. That's what I thought about it. This is your list. I literally stole it and made a tier list out of it. And I gave you credit at the beginning of this stream. So that's what I think about it. By the way, is your bingo active? Your bingo thingy? If you send it to me, if you actually want people to like play bingo with it, does that exist somewhere? Can you embed it on my site? And then people can play with it if you want. But do you have to download it, or can you embed it on my site or something, Felix? Or somewhere on your site somewhere? I've just, on my site, I gotta show you guys. I've opened the new rubric, games, quizzes, and fun. So I'm putting memes here. POV, you're about to ethically harvest it. I'm native, I will use every part of your body respectfully. Your skin will make a wonderful lampshade. This is extremely ethical. It's a fantastic meme. You just linked it. Link it where? Oh, there you go. Found it. Yeah, but do you have to like download it, or can you just like embed it? There. Let's find out. A carnist. Bingo. Why am I bad at spelling today? What's going on? What the fuck is wrong with me? I think I'm tired, guys. After I've made it, I'm gonna... Ooh. After I've made it, I'm gonna take a minute, like a few days off. I think. There you go. It's embedded. How can you play it though? That just... Hold on. Give me a sec. Oh, there you go. There you go. It's embedded. Perfect. Perfect. Every time you refresh, new bingo pops up. Oh. Well, it would if this was... Anyways, there you go. It does. That's fantastic. So, yeah, there you go. So you have that. You can have that on my site as well. There you go, guys. Oh, no, that's not the one. I should not share that. What I should share is this. And Felek is a fantastic vegan fella. He's providing us with this gift of vegan bingo. How good is that? And we have the vegan tier list, which is the same list, but like that. Anyways, okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Thank you, Felix, for being such a good vegan, providing us with the vegan bingo. Finally, we have a vegan bingo. It should be an app. It would make millions, man. Difference between vegans and vegetarian. So this one is kind of, usually when people ask this is kind of inquisitive. They just literally don't know and they ask, right? So I wouldn't even call it an argument. It's just like people asking what the difference is. So I would put it in D tier just basically because it's an honest question usually in my experience, unless you can point out an experience that it wasn't an honest question. What it can be though, when people go, and that's like so super annoying, when people go, yeah, you have a good point. I won't go vegan though. I might go vegetarian one day. That shit annoys the fuck out of me. I did update my bingo to remove questions and keep dumb statements, by the way. That's cool. That's very, very cool, Felix. Yeah, 13 subs to go. I'm not gonna get there today, guys. Let's face it. Let's face it. But I would appreciate if you like me, if you love me, if you want me to get to my goals. After this, if you could, I don't know, go watch something on my channel that you haven't watched, because it's not just 1,000 subs, it's the watch hours. I'm also extremely close on watch hours, but I'm still like, I think around 300 watch hours away. So if there is something you can watch, even muted, that you haven't watched before, I would really, really appreciate that, guys. It would get me to... I haven't asked you for this maybe only once, but this has been my goal. I've been trying to reach it kind of on my own without asking you guys. But I'm so close that I am asking for a favor. Basically, if you can, go watch something of mine. I have a bunch of 8-hour streams. If you haven't watched it, just put it on mute in one of your tabs somewhere. That would be the best help, frankly. Or even better, get inspired by the postmortem to do activism IRL online for sure, Felix. If people are capable, if people want to, they definitely can and should. Everyone should at least watch this one. What's that one? What's that one? Oh,
Organ is what differentiates us from plants.
You definitely should watch my last video. There you go. What's up, Pine Butterfly? Okay, let's continue. Farmers will lose jobs. I mean, here's the thing. I'm trying to think if it comports with reality actually, right? Because as is, in a lot of places, farmers kind of have to look for extra curricular activities to survive, to have their farm survive. So either teaching people like either like petting corners or whatever, or doing lectures in schools, or providing land for their weddings, for people's weddings, or like on-farm store of some kind, like selling stupid shit, like herbs and spices and all that stuff, and obviously also eggs and beef jerky and all that shit. Or, yeah, and they have to scrounge like crazy, especially the small farms, to actually get food for their animals. So they drive miles away there and back just to get some free food for animals and shit like that. So I would say farmers are gonna be okay, I think, in my opinion. If they adapt, actually, right? So the farms that already provide their places as like wedding venues can just do that. Just do that, serve plant food that they grow outside, growing plant food, growing biofuels, getting into microgreens, getting into mushroom growing, getting into, farms are like can be beautiful pastures in the middle of nowhere. So some farms I saw can provide like a therapy location, because people generally like the outdoors and stuff like that. So farmers are going to be fine because A, they have land, and that land is worth money, and B, they can do other stuff with that land, all the things that I already mentioned. So but I can't rank this argument too low, because it comes from I think it's a genuine question. It's a genuine claim. So I think I'll put it in, but it lacks like actual thinking behind it, right? Oh, Evil Shepherd Stefan, thank you for saying hi. What's up, Race Leader? What's up, Stinky Minch? How you doing? I could impress you with my Super Mario skills. Okay. LTN says 100 US per hour to pet a cow. Yeah. So, yeah, let's say even like if a farmer goes vegan and they have like 100 cows, right? And now it's a sanctuary, obviously, right? They can't kill them now, they're vegan. So, yeah, having other vegans in the vegan world coming and petting cows and donating to the sanctuary and enjoying the experience of meeting an animal, something that I probably will never enjoy because I'm allergic to most of them. Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, I think farmers are going to be fine. But because it's such a relatively genuine question, I can't put it in D though. You know what? There is one aspect I haven't thought of. When people say that, they like incredibly prioritize somebody's living over somebody's life. So I gotta put it in gross. There you go. I've made a decision, made up my mind. There you go. So, feeling bad after going vegan. So I would say this has nothing to do with veganism. This has something to do with diet, and it's usually the plant-based dieters who've done it so stupidly in some kind of way that are saying this. So I would say because they did something stupid usually, I would say this is a brain rot argument and no more time needs to be spent on it. I think everything can be fixed within the boundaries of a plant-based diet. As I know many people who are sick, who have IBS, who have IBD, who have celiac, who have diabetes, who have a bunch of things, and they still solve all those things. They keep all those things in check within the plant-based dieting. So I would just put it in gross. Oh, where did I put it? In brain rot. Definitely, that's where it belongs, for sure. Free range, though, is the next one. Free range, though, is definitely is not interacting with the vegan argument because they think that if an animal had a good life, then it's not wrong to kill them, right? So where would I put this argument? Free range, though. Yeah, it's one of those things, and it's always a lie, isn't it, as well? We should consider that it's almost always a lie. So let's put free range, though, in brain. No, plant in gross, because they're lying. Halal kosher goes in the same place. This is just welfareism, isn't it? Hitler was vegetarian is always a dishonest argument, and it doesn't comport with reality. And it's one of those things, it's just, I'm pretty convinced it's just meat propaganda that took well. I don't hear it as much lately. I think people let that go a little bit. But yeah, I would put it in plant sentience. It's just the stupidest shit. Like, it also kind of completely disregards the fact that all other dictators on earth were meat eaters, right? So if Hitler was the vegetarian, Hitler being vegetarian and therefore veganism is wrong would be as good of an argument as, I don't know, Stalin was a meat eater and therefore the carnivore diet is wrong or something like that, right? Absolute brain rot. Honey. So I understand kind of why people have like a hard time understanding what's wrong with honey, right? It's exploitation, so for us it's incredibly clear that animals, especially if bees are sentient, I'm kind of assuming that they are exploited, even if they weren't killed in the end, even if they weren't, if the queen bee wasn't tortured or stuff like that, right? Even if all of that wasn't true, I would say it would still be exploitation. But that's harder to explain in a second to people, right? It's like, I think people don't have like empathy to cows, pigs, chickens, very emotive animals that you can see their emotions on their faces, right? So I understand why they would have like even less empathy toward insects, right? So I would put it actually in the D tier. Not because it's good. None of those arguments are good. Just because I understand why people make this argument. I understand why they have like an even harder time to connect to this, right? Marshes cannot grow crops, but perfect for marsh lamb. Okay, whatever. So, that doesn't mean that you have to grow sheep, raise sheep, by the way. You don't grow lamb, you raise sheep. See how you like de-animalize into them, the animals? You know, you see how you de-animalize them? You call them lamb by the name of the meat? They're not objects, man. They're animals that you turn into objects. Anyways, horse riding is again one of those things that people really, really need to think about exploitation, right? And not just like harm, not just like hurting animals or killing animals. So it's like higher tier understanding of what veganism is required to understand why horse riding is wrong. It's also so prevalent to people for some reason that horses are like not hurt for some reason, they think. Don't tell Bianca, yeah. Well, she's here, she's gonna hear this. Riding horses does hurt and harm them, of course it does. I'm just saying that as an argument, I can kind of understand why people have harder time to connecting with this. This is the like next level of understanding what veganism is. So I would put it to the same place where honey is. So horse riding is a bit, let's say it's a bit more of a fringe understand. Like it requires deep understanding. That's where I'm gonna end, I guess. Before I get cancelled or something. Anyways, humane killing is welfareism again, so I'm just gonna block it there in gross. It's just like, well, let's just like tickle animals to death or something. It's a ridiculous argument. But, why am I putting all of these free-range halal kosher humane killing in gross and not law, not in like plant sentience and stuff? It's because when they're saying this shit, they're actually thinking of animals, I think. They actually think that it's a good thing not to harm animals. And from there, road to making them understand why vegans are vegan, why veganism is the moral obligation and stuff like that. It's much shorter. Than from people like Arai Sirloin, right? Who's like, I think if I remember correctly, Arai Sirloin, you like slaughter animals with, you're like a farmer, right? Lab-grown animal products are not vegan. Vegans don't eat or use animal products. It isn't rocket science. I'm not sure why you're making that claim. It's an incredibly general claim as well. Lab-grown meat can be vegan. I've proven this on my channel. So I don't know why I would say that. It also has the best chance to spare as many animals this existence the fastest way as possible. So you're not a farmer. Okay, you talked like one. I did remember for some reason. That's all right. All vegans now must accept that climate change is by default a more important issue. Why would you say that? Why would you even say that? What a strange argument. And why are you like putting hierarchies on those things? You can be vegan and an environmentalist and prevent climate change. In fact, it's easier because on a plant-based diet, you're going to be less contributing less to the environmental impact. So I don't know why you would say that, Bollywood. Why is that more important than ending animal slavery? I don't mean meat makes fake meat because you want to eat something like meat. No, it's not for us. That's an assumption of you, S3X, Aldman Thunder, whatever. That's an assumption. We want to create lab-grown meat for other people, for assholes who are not willing to go vegan. For the selfish assholes who are prioritizing their taste over sentient life. That's who are doing this for. And yes, a lot of companies are vegan and are doing this work for veganism. So Race Liver, you're also wrong. I apologize. It does not have a chance to spare as many animals. It's already being used in an excuse for people aren't going vegan. No, but like if they... you're generalizing again. So here's the thing. If lab-grown meat becomes prevalent, people are going to switch from eating slaughter flesh to eating non-slaughter flesh. It would spare the most animals, the quickest. It's a matter of a couple of years until about 40% of population are going to be switching to this. And we went through this on my channel. You're welcome to go watch it. I can post links for you to all of those discussions. Almond milk just tastes bad, I guess. All right, you have your arguments. I'm going to continue with my shit here. Hunt for food. Hunt for food is brain rot, frankly. It kind of pretends that they care about animals, but in my experience, most hunters couldn't give a less shit about animals. They just want to kill animals. So I would put it in brain rot. It's absolutely a terrible argument against veganism. And it doesn't interact with the main vegan position either. So I am not killing anyone. I'm not killing anyone is people saying this, I think. Hold on, let me make it bigger. When you tell them, when you don't word yourself properly, frankly, as a vegan, when you tell people you kill animals, you kill the most animals, something like that, and they're saying, I'm not killing animals, I'm just going to the supermarket and getting my package, right? This is where it takes about a few seconds to explain to them the matter of supply and demand. And if they're genuine, they understand this and they stop using this argument. If they're not genuine, then they continue bullshitting about no ethical consumption under capitalism or some shit like that, right? But this is basically like shaking responsibility. And in my experience, it's they make this claim after almost every other claim of theirs have been debunked, and when they're close to saying, you're right, but... and then a huge silence after that. So I would say that's an F, because I think people are genuinely like all of a sudden, oh shit, and then they're like, no, I'm not killing anybody. Killing is wrong. I'm not doing that, right? So that's why I put it in F in my opinion. Another argument is I don't feel bad for animals. So that's just like a lack of empathy. And it's gross. It's people de-animalizing animals. They're objectifying animals. And that is gross as fuck, in my opinion. Let me make it like that. Enjoy number one while it lasts. Bianca is going for you, Nilf. Almonds require lots of water to grow, but not as much as cow milk. So you can't even say that. Also, most of the almonds for export are grown in California. No, they're not. A lot of them are grown in Spain and other places. That's just an American issue. And yes, I would agree with you. The almonds shouldn't be grown in California. That's not an ethical issue, though. That's an environmental issue. Yeah, I agree with you. Almonds and avocados should not be grown in California. And while we're speaking of that, dairy production shouldn't be in California for that same reason, because it actually takes much more water to produce dairy, because, you know, cows are big, huge, beautiful creatures who lactate, and animals who lactate are drinking a lot of water. It takes about, I think we tested it yesterday, 640 or so liters of water for 1 liter of milk. Almonds don't get even close to that. So, well, if almonds don't even get even close to that, and almond milk is even less than that, right? Because it contains like 3 or 4 almonds per carton or something like that. So yeah, Bollywood, if you care about the environment, you should go vegan, or at least plant-based. If you want to discuss this, I can accommodate. You can come up on the channel and we can have a voice conversation. All right, let's continue for now, and I'll be opening my eyes for you. Almost. Almond, I think you meant. And where is that statistic from? The US is responsible for 80% of the world's almond production. Where is that statistic from? Exactly. Let me see. Oh, I don't get the AI. I'm gonna ask the AI, I guess. New chat. Is this correct? Mostly correct. Ah, not bad. Although slightly rounded up. Okay. Okay, then I agree with you. The US, though, your claim was specifically to California. I agree with you that California shouldn't be growing almonds. But why does that mean that you can't be vegan, though, Bollywood? It would benefit your personal input into climate change. You could reduce it greatly by going plant-based. Why aren't you plant-based, Bollywood? Please answer me, though. I don't like when I'm being ignored on my own channel. I shouldn't be doing this, and I'm leaving the stream. Google stuff. Apologies. That's all right. I'm just asking Bollywood, why wouldn't you go plant-based since you care about climate change so much? It's not just about dairy milk, right? The animal production is has a huge imprint on climate change. You personally going plant-based, you could reduce your personal stamp on climate change, or your personal contribution to climate change, by like 19% or 20%, something like that. That's huge. Why wouldn't you go plant-based? No, I'm not asking about if there is something wrong with veganism. You are plant-based. Okay, that's okay. That's good. Then why the fuck are you arguing here about climate change, though? If you know that we're doing the right thing anyways. Like, vegans are not contributing to climate change the way meat eaters are, or animal production is. Why would you say, though, that that's more important than saving the actual sentient lives of animals? It's kind of weird, no? Kind of weird. Yes, I've been on a farm. Oh, S3X. I grew up on a farm. There are quite a few other people here who grew up on a farm and now they're vegan. We know what we're talking about. We do know. Don't make assumptions. Well, technically you asked. You didn't make an assumption, so go on. More people need to get out of the meat-eating matrix and don't be like Cypher. Yeah, that clip like always messes me up when like somebody who's not vegan is putting that gif for me in like a discussion about meat, and I'm like, he's literally fucking, you know, they're like, because he's looking at steak with adoration, right? Literally one of the most brain dead things somebody can do is put that clip in a conversation with a vegan, as if like, oh, look, meat, where Cypher literally is saying, I know I shouldn't be doing this, right? But it just tastes so good. So he prioritizes his literal taste pleasure, his literal comfort, and betrays everybody he knows, everybody who trusts him, and the entire world potentially, right? Because it's like the saving the world is on the line, with liberating all the human slaves and shit. And he's betraying all of this for taste pleasure. It's just like the weirdest thing to put on a vegan's timeline. Everyone is contributing, but do you think, alright, Sirloin, we should maybe like reduce our contribution whenever we can? Do you think that's important, maybe? Okay, I'm gonna continue, but please answer my question. A rice sirloin. Thankfully, your A is really catching my eye, so well done there. I was going to be vegan, but I love this one, right? So that usually comes with something like, vegan annoyed me online, and now I'm not gonna go vegan. This is like the most disingenuous thing to say. They're basically like bullying you at that point when they're saying something like that, right? Because it's like, I'm gonna eat twice as much meat to make sure that vegans don't make a difference kind of situation. It's the same argument, basically. Well, I was gonna go vegan, but now, since you told me that I'm wrong, I'm not gonna bother. I'm gonna just like go eat a steak or something like that. So I would call that actually plant sentience. I'll just put it there, in my opinion. If everyone goes vegan, XXX, insert some kind of a thing. So we have predictions for this. We have like scientific evidence for this. But I guess not many people are familiar with it. So I would put it in an F tier. They are making a lot of assumptions while not knowing how animal agriculture actually works. And so it's not like brain rot or anything like that, right? They're just like extrapolating in an unintelligent way. And therefore, it can't go lower than this, in my opinion. Yes, I don't eat rice anymore. Oh, well, why wouldn't you stop eating the things that are above rice in that consideration? Why won't you do that? It will take me a second. It's compared. There you go. So those are all the foods, and I know it's hard to see because I'm streaming weirdly, right? So, do you eat beef? Because rice is right there, right? It's in the middle of the thing. And beef like produces, what does that look like? Maybe 15 times more pollution or environmental impact, right? So in carbon footprint. That's rice right there. That's a good thing. I also don't eat rice. Well, but do you eat eggs? That's more environmental impact? You're just saying like it produces 10% of all methane. The most damaging greenhouse gas. Well, look how much beef produces. Look how much environmental carbon footprint. Most of that is from methane as well. Do you abstain from beef? Do you abstain from lamb? You told us you don't. Lamb and mutton. Do you abstain from cheese? Do you abstain from beef from dairy cattle? Right? Quite a few vegan stuff in here as well, right? Or potentially vegan stuff. But you don't interact with them the way you interact with actual food. You eat a little bit of chocolate. You eat a little bit of coffee, right? Do you abstain? Sorry. Do you abstain from pig meat? A rice sirloin? Or just being selective? How can it? Well, there you go. The evidence is right here. If you want the... hold on. If you want the study, right? This is not the study. This is an article. But the studies on which it's based on are right here. 12 citations on which they based this analysis. How can it? Well, your intuitions, your biases say that it can't, but it actually does. It's the most environmentally degrading food. And the way people eat it is like steaks and shit, and burgers. And by the way, this is per kilogram of food. And if I remember correctly, if a person eats a steak or a burger, that's at least 100 grams. If a person eats rice, that's dry matter production, right? They eat maybe like, maybe 50 grams of dry matter. Maybe. Well, that doesn't matter. You eat beef, don't you? You eat lamb. Lamb is under that. That's at least 5 times bigger than rice. More, I would say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 maybe. So you're just a hypocrite, aren't you? You're a hypocrite. Rice alone. And you've been here before. You're just dogging on vegans while doing stupid shit like avoiding eating rice, but eating all this other stuff that produces way more environmental degradation. If that's what you care about, you obviously don't care about animals, just to make sure that I'm explaining myself. Right, let's continue. How am I a hypocrite? You said that you care about the environment, right? That's why you don't eat rice? Because you care about the environment? Why would you take out this food that is much less degrading to the environment than the other stuff that you eat? Why did you take that out and not like this other horrific stuff? And again, this just, you also have to consider how much food of this food people eat. This is per kilogram of cheese. I've known people who like ate huge wedges of cheese at a time, right? Some people eat so much cheese, holy shit. Yeah, well, that makes you a hypocrite. That's what it is. All right, I'm gonna continue, guys. It's not against the law, says somebody here. So this one is kind of hard because I don't know if people understand what laws are. Right? Tell me where he would be on the list. What do you mean? Oh, so you don't even give a shit. Well, thank you. Fuck off then. Jesus Christ. You don't even give a shit. You're just taking a piss. I should add rice though. Brain rot, 100%. Thank you for adding to our list. Just imagine rice though, right there. Brain rot. I would actually like bump it to plant sentience because it's such a ridiculous argument. I feel like I don't understand what list. Oh, he's brain rot. Yeah. Okay, I understand. This list. Okay. So, it is not against the law. Yeah, so some people, I think, genuinely look at law for morality. So I find that sad mostly. And I find that gross because usually what I ask them is, would they rape if it wasn't against the law? And some bite the bullet. So I put that on gross, definitely. The gross list is getting there. Not many on top, guys. A lot of grossness, though. Kill to control population. By that, do they mean like cooling invasive species or something like that? Where would I add that? It's kind of gross because they're not considering the individuals, the individual animals. Not considering the individual animals too much. So I would say, yeah, gross, I would say. No, I would go to brain rot because it's next to hunt for food. I think it's the same. Knife in the throat equals painless. So this is basically the animalization, right? Because when I ask those people if would they feel pain if they had their throat slit, and they say yes, and then what's that assumption that animals wouldn't? So it's objectification, it's de-animalization. It's weird. I don't know where that claim is from, frankly. that animals don't feel pain when we slaughter them, when we electrocute them, when we gas them, when we shoot them in the fucking head. Oh no, they don't feel pain. I would say it's brain rot. Meat is natural. Meat is natural. It's an appeal to nature fallacy. It's a very prevalent appeal to a fallacy, frankly. A lot of people do it. Sometimes vegans do it too. They appeal to nature fallaciously. Meat is natural. I would say it's brain rot. Yeah, I would say it's brain rot. It's in the same place as animals can't craft and build, shit like that. Yeah. It's a good place. Meat tastes good though, so it's plant sentience level. It's really a brain dead argument. Literally no other atrocity would be handled like this, by saying, well, I like it though. So, and it's not even factual. I'm not saying that meat doesn't taste good. It definitely does. But it's not like it kind of juxtaposes that meat tastes the best, and that's not true. There are plenty of things that tastes better than meat. And once you stop eating something and start eating something else, your taste buds change. It takes about a week to a month, and in most cases they will change. So, anecdote time. I kind of got stuck without soy protein. I usually ordered it from iHerb, but here I couldn't justify doing another order there. So I went to a local store to buy soy protein, and I didn't know that, but it's like I knew that it has like cocoa powder in it, but I didn't know that it's gonna have sucralose in it. And sucralose, at first, tasted like disgusting. For real, I almost puked for the first time that I tasted it. It was really gross. But because I know this thing about taste buds, I know they change. I know that it always happens once you eat food for about a week or a month. I kept eating it. And after about a week, and now I eat it or drink it very simply. It tastes okay. Doesn't taste good yet. It's been only like 3 weeks or so since I had this soy protein in my life. But it tastes good. It doesn't taste bad anymore. Doesn't make me wanna puke. So taste buds change. So it really is plant sentience level argument, and it's where it ends up in the end. It's where it ends up usually. That's the only actual justification that people have. I'm selfish and something tastes good, so I'm going to prioritize that over the life of animals, which is fucked up. Mention religious gods. I'm sorry if there are people in my chat who are religious. I'm going to have to put it in plant sentience. I really don't understand how the experiment that is the invention of God survived so far. I think people should give it up. It's akin to believing in Santa Claus, frankly. And fuck religion, for real. And it does so much bad in the world. I know it does some good to some people because it gives them hope and it provides communities and shit. But overall, it's just such a fucking tumor on society, religion. It makes people act irrationally. It makes people think that morality is objective and is given to them by God. And it's just terrible thing to bring into any conversation. And again, religious people, all love and respect, but not for this. Okay. Allah made a guy write a book, yeah. Milk, eggs is okay. So I'm gonna put this one kind of high, I think. Let me just make it smaller 1 sec, because it's becoming hard. So milk's egg is okay. It's just people speaking kind of from ignorance. They just don't know what happens in those industries, right? So it's just lack of understanding, right? So I can't penalize that. It's just it's their way of asking, why the fuck do vegan avoid this, right? Because milk and egg themselves are not animal. It's not like animal muscle, so they think animals are not slaughtered for it. And of course, at this point, exploitation doesn't even cross their mind yet, right? We haven't gotten there yet into the exploitation territory. So yeah, I would just say it's from ignorance and not from brain rot, so I'm putting it high. People will still eat meat, is the claim. So this actually comes from the psychological effect, I think, in my opinion, take it with a grain of salt, where people think that that they won't make it. It's basically similar to one it's coming up. One vegan won't make a difference. One vegan can't make a difference. I put it in F right there. It's too small for me to see now, for real. And it comes kind of from the same place. They're just kind of trying to distribute the blame, to distribute the icky feeling, right? By saying, well, I can't make a difference because people will still eat meat. Or saying vegans are kind of pointless because some people will never stop eating meat, which, I guess that's true. There will be some fringes that even in the vegan world, some psychos will continue slaughtering animals. But we will view them as the monsters in horror stories who slaughter humans. We will view them in the same way as psychopaths, as people who on the outskirts of losing their minds. That's my opinion, at least. All right. Plants feel pain. We got here, guys, we got here. So obviously plants feel pain goes into plant sentience. The most brain dead argument, usually made without the belief in it or without looking into it too hard. I just read an article somewhere or some shit. One of those things, right, where the meat propaganda has done a good job or something. I'm convinced that plant sentience, although reemergence, right? It's been since 1970s. Like fringe scientists, like one or two scientists used to claim this shit since 1970s or something. But like, I think reemergence of it, I think was pushed by meat propaganda, possibly. I can't prove that, obviously. Plants taste bad is, where did I put meat tastes good? I put it in, plant sentience. Yeah, totally. That's where it belongs. It's kind of stupid. It kind of disregards animals. It's against the scientific, the science of how our taste buds work. And it's generally just like a childish rapport. When somebody says, well, plants taste bad, though, you know you're talking to a mental child. So definitely would put them in plant sentience. Maybe brain rot, because literal children make this argument. Yeah, I'll put it in brain rot. So pushing your lifestyle. Vegans are pushing their lifestyle on other people is kind of ignoring the why, right? It's ignoring the vegan argument entirely. It's not understanding it, it's not interacting with it. Because it's the why, the conversation is why do we ask other people to give up animal products and stop paying for exploitation and slaughter of animals? Is the animals, is the sentient animals, is the lack of justice, is the lack of symmetry breaker between animals and humans that would make it okay to slaughter the animals but not the humans. It's all of those things completely disregarded by just like what, it's almost like whataboutism. It's defense mechanism. Because it's a defense mechanism and I realize it as one, it's kind of trying to end the conversation. I'm going to put it in F tier because of that, right? Because it's like not malicious. Let's just say it like that. What's up, boss man? How you doing? Religious holiday. What the fuck does that mean? Religious holiday. I never heard this. Ever. What the fuck is that? Can somebody elucidate? What the fuck is this claim? Can somebody remember an argument that can fit this somehow? I can't. I don't know what. Oh, religious holiday, Eid. Okay, I got you. Thank you. Well, then it must go to brain rot, as all religion must go there. It's absolutely, first of all, like it even within its own, within the argument itself, it's inconsistent since they don't have to sacrifice animals. So, yeah, it's just brain rot. It's plant sentience, sorry. I'm forgetting my own levels. It's a traditional argument, yeah. Oh, do you say I should move it to where culture is? Where did I put culture, though? Where did I put culture? Cultural, I'll put it in D. Fuck that, I'm putting cultural and plant sentience. That's it. Yeah, I've made the decision. Yeah, I know it's hard, blah, 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 and all of that shit. Yeah, it's absolutely a brain dead argument. Culture, though. If Jordi, if you're still here, I agree with you now. I agree with you. Rights and law. Rights and law. I'm not sure what they mean by that. VPM needs a pug stick for boosting memory. No, my memory is okay. I don't need a pug steak just yet. I will need in the future. So, what is rights and law? What does that mean? Because we already talked about laws, haven't we? I don't know what this is. Is anybody can suggest what rights and the law means? Is it like animals don't have rights? Something like that. Vegan inconsistency. Axel's trying to convince me that you are Dennis. Is that true? Are you ban-evading? Are you ban-evading? No, I'm not Hungarian. Why am I answering those questions? I don't disclose where I am from. So I could be lying. I could be Hungarian. Hey, what's up, Organ Poetry? How you doing? Dennis. Are you Dennis? A person who used to live on my channel and now they're gone. Axel's audience voted yes. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen enough evidence for that. Vegan inconsistency makes better arguments than Dennis, says AlphaGaros. Well, I'm going to trust you there. Position, what do you mean by that? You're Anton. Okay. There you go. It's another Slavic name. I think maybe at some point I'll need to change some text when I say rights law, is that people can do it. Oh, I understand what you're saying. So it's, but isn't it the same as it's not illegal then? Felek. Rights and law. It is same. Okay, then I shall find where I put laws though, and I should plonk it there. I probably put it relatively high, didn't I? It isn't against the law. I'm just gonna plunk it in gross. For the same reason, obviously. I was named Anton Miroslav before. Okay. What's up, Ted? Okay. Shearing sheep. What could that be about? That it's okay to shear sheep because they're not suffering or whatever? Yeah, it's one of those things that I actually put, again, relatively high because people just don't know what the industry is, do they? They don't know, and they haven't reached the understanding of what exploitation is yet. I'm 90% vegan. Oh, that's a good one, Felek. That's a really, really good one. Oh my God, fantastic. I would say I'm X% because, you know, each says something else. Somebody says, remember Red says, I'm plant-based. I'm plant-based though, because he eats some plants. What a dumbass. All right, let's continue. We're almost done, guys. Someone buys me food. So this one is potentially tragic, actually. This one is like the one time that I'm not sure if I should continue pressing on, frankly. When children tell me that their parents buy them food, and some of the children that I had conversations with told me that if they asked their parents for a different food, they would be beaten. And because some of the circumstances are kind of weird on this claim, I think I would put it in like an F tier. It, of course, doesn't interact with other things relating to veganism. But yeah, food is the most important one anyways. It's the one that people interact with the most. You know, like as I said yesterday on Chip's stream, you go through the things, right? And you say, can you live without leather? Most people would say yes. Can you live without fur? Most people would say yes. Can you live without silk? Yes. Can you live without going to zoos? Yes. Can you live without going to circuses? Yes. Can you live without riding horses? Yes, 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 yes. Can you buy products that have like the label wasn't tested on animals? Yes. The only thing that people have actual like resistance to is the food. That's why like 97% of conversations are about food when it comes to vegan ethics. What do sanctuaries do with sheep wool? So there was one sanctuary that's actually got some shit for it, and I don't understand why. They were selling the wool so that they could collect money to feed the animals. It's one of those things, Arise Sirloin, that is like a matter of intent, right? So sheep, because they were genetically bred to produce a lot of wool, if those sheep are like saved and brought into a sanctuary, they still need to be sheared. But they're, first of all, not sheared the way they're sheared in the industry. They're sheared with care, actual care and well-being in mind, right? And some sanctuaries use it for insulation, I guess. Other sanctuaries put it in gardens and shit. Yeah, they make use of it, but they don't exploit the animals for it. That's the difference. That's the difference. Even the sanctuary that got shit for it, that sold the actual, like they made like little trinkets out of it and sold that in their sanctuary store to collect money to feed the animals. Well, you can say bullshit if you want, but that's what happened, right? They don't shear the animals to exploit the animals. They shear them to make them feel better in their best interest. They do it kindly. They do it slowly. They don't do it fast. I just read an article like a few days ago where there's some dude who holds the record on shearing the most sheep the fastest. Some shit like that. One can only imagine, right? Let's say if if it's a competition for time, that those animals are incredibly mishandled. And the evidence for the mishandling is very prevalent online. If you want, I can dig it up. I probably should have some of those on my site anyways. I'll do it for you if you want, Arise. I'm not sure what you call the bullshit. But yeah, that's what sanctuaries do with wool. Sometimes they put it as insulation and stuff. Sometimes they just throw it out, probably. Depends on the sanctuary. Really depends. There are no rules there. As long as they are not doing something, as long as they are not exploiting the animals for it, it's all fine. Even that sanctuary that made the trinkets, they are doing it for the best interest of the animals. They're not doing it to exploit the animals. They're not pocketing the money. They're literally buying food with it to feed the animals. So I can't fault them there. Not on the intentional criteria, nor on the factual criteria. There you go. One can only imagine. I'm not sure what I said that about. Yeah, it's okay to waste a valuable resource. What's the problem with that? What the fuck is the problem with that? Also, it's not that valuable. I mean, it costs money, if that's what you mean. But yeah, they can throw it out. They can put it in a fucking gutter. And they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. The point is not to exploit the animals. They don't view animals as resources. That's the finger I sirloin. I don't know what you're calling bullshit. Sanctuaries exist not to exploit animals, but to save animals from exploitation. Don't know what you're calling bullshit there. Oh, sweetie. I hope you're okay there. Yeah. Weird. Hey, what's up, Fly Sensing? Testing on animals is necessary. There is a spelling mistake there. So, yeah. This one is one of those things that also just like requires understanding of very complex things, right? I say that even if it's necessary, we don't have the moral right. It's still unjust, right? And therefore we shouldn't do it. But I'm also pretty convinced that it's not necessary and it could be replaced. It would be at first expensive to replace, but that would be the first thing to do. Like the one time that you buy the microfluidic system, that costs a couple of $1 million actually, right? It's incredibly expensive equipment. But you buy that for your school, for your lab campus kind of situation, right? And then you produce organoids or organ on chip, something like that, right? And you connect quite a few of them to create like a human system. And you experiment on that, and you can reset it as well. You can do like run a drug through or something like that, and then you can wash it out and start again with the same organoids. So there you go. The things exist. More and more things become more and more existing every single day. And we should move away from it, even if it's true that it's necessary. And the smart people who are doing those experiments will figure it out. The medicine will not stop. The experimentation will not stop. The medication will not stop. That is incorrect. Those things will not stop. They will figure it out. The solutions exist. But it's one of those things that people just don't know enough about, so I have to put it in D. And I even can empathize, right? It's basically self-preservation in this case. Based on an error, in my opinion, right? But it's self-preservation of a humankind. So I put it in the D tier because of that. All right. That vegan teacher is the next one, that vegan teacher. So this one is definitely, I think, in my opinion, it's plant sentience. Because it's one of the stupidest arguments, frankly. Just like, it's one of those things. One person in a population of activists is doing something not to their liking. And most likely, by the way, they'll just misconstrued what she's actually doing or what she actually said. Because all they did is watch a debunk of that vegan teacher that haven't actually interacted with that vegan teachers and didn't try to understand her position at all, right? So it's one of those stupid things. Oh, well, vegan made me feel kind of weird, so I'm not gonna go vegan, right? Top of the food chain, where did I put canines? Gotta put it there as well. Where did I put canines? Apex predator, yeah. I'm putting it in brain rot because it's total brain rot. Food chains don't apply to us because that is a natural, lovely, colorful chart, Vivian. Thank you, Dave. So that is actually, where was I? Top of the food chain. It's applying a natural category on an unnatural process, right? Man-made process. And second of all, you would still be in a food chain if you ate plants directly. That would still be a fucking food chain. So it's one of the most brain dead arguments. So it's definitely brain rot, at least. I might bump it to plant sentience, though. Or bump it down to plant sentience. What do you think, guys? Put 1 in the chat if it should stay in brain rot. Put 2 in the chat if it should go down to plant sentience. If it's that dead, that argument. Let me know. Oh, it's getting dark, bruh. But I kind of like it. Oh, I bask in the darkness. So Vegan Marshmallow says 2, bump it to plant sentience. Jason also says 2. Bianca says 2, that settles it. Up. Top of the food chain, there you go. Alpha Caro says 2. That's settled. If Alpha Caro says 2, that's done. Tribes living in the jungle. So it's similar to Felix, if you're still here, it's similar to Desert Island, isn't it? But we don't have a desert island here. So it should be probably something together. Did I share this with you guys? It's one of my most favorite things on my site these days. Oh, my site is here. It's one of my favorite things these days. Ethics, I think. No. Arguments against veganism. Indigenous people. I think I shared this with you guys. So this is a post from a vegan restaurant where the Maasai warriors had dinner. And it's one of my most favorite things in the entire world now, because the Maasai are often touted as the pinnacle of, mostly hunting population that live in the middle of nowhere, blah, 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 all of that shit. So when I found this thing, and thank you to Meg Gowat on Twitter, who proposed this, and then the Toto actually answered with it. Yeah. They were in a restaurant. Toto is the owner of the restaurant. And it's one of the most fantastic things I've ever seen. It just like dismantles the argument of tribes, like pretty definitively, in my opinion. Like, do tribes even exist anymore? That are so disconnected that they must do shit to survive, kind of stuff. But tribes living in the jungle. It's one of those things that they're throwing, they're trying to dilute their responsibility for what they're doing, basically, is what they're trying to do. So I would put it in F again, because that it's a defense mechanism. It's a response to understanding that they're doing something wrong, in my opinion, to cognitive dissonance, basically. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. Veganism is expensive is just factually incorrect, and it's one of those talking points. So it's not expensive. Actually, it's not more expensive than the animal foods or the animal diets, right? So, in fact, plant-based consumers are shown to spend less than all of the consumers assessed, and this says that the vegan group paid approximately 16% less than than the control group. And even comparing the Mediterranean diet to the vegan diet is cheaper, obviously, because Mediterranean diet requires like expensive olive oil and fish and shit like that. Yeah, and this also vegan is somewhere in the middle right there. There are several all the vegans are relatively low right there as well. Veganism is a privilege. This is my new toy from our world in data. So this is a meat supply versus GDP per capita in all countries. So you can see that the more people earn, usually the more meat they eat. So veganism is a privilege debunked. This is really funny to me. So veganism is expensive. It's just factually incorrect. And again, I think they're trying to diffuse responsibility for their actions. This is coping mechanism, again, I think, in my opinion. So I'll add it to F tier again, because that's where I put most of my coping mechanisms. Actually, I'm going to bump K90 down to brain rot. Yeah, it doesn't belong there. Vegans are weak. It's again a coping mechanism and factually incorrect. I'm gonna use my site. I'm gonna do my vegan activism while we are doing this, right? So this is not an extensive list. I should update it with more people. I have quite a few. I think I added in my Delgado, so I can delete them. But record holders. Mr. Olympia, obviously taking drugs, but all Mr. Olympia taking drugs. Gold medalist, gold medalist, gold medalist, gold medalist, gold medalist again. Our cheap guy, Nimai Delgado, top vegan fighters. All of those vegan athletes are fantastic people who are doing it on a plant-based diet. There you go, breaking records and shit. So you definitely... what's the claim? Vegans being, well, where did I put it? I put it there. Vegans are weak. So that's definitely a coping mechanism and just factually incorrect. The next thing is, sorry, I'm going to try and make it bigger so that you can see, but it's hard to handle at this point. Yes, cheap. Cheap is there. I tout his body. I sell his body to the non-vegans all the time. with consent, no worries. Vegans are being deficient. So this one actually, so the information on vegans being deficient it's not like necessarily incorrect. Some people are not supplementing, and therefore they could find themselves in deficiencies. And vegans in the 80s or whatever could be deficient, right? And we have like some. Usually when people present evidence, it's like from the 80s and 90s and even early 2000s. These days, I hope all vegans know they should supplement at least B12 and D. But also, you know me, I'm a shill. Please take one daily multivitamin. I think that's the best way to go so that you don't have to worry about going into deficiencies. You just prevent them. That's it. But this is, again, a coping mechanism. So I'm going to put it in F tier. Vegans eat grass. This is just plant sentience. This is just plain trolling or being incredibly brain dead argument. There is nothing else to say about it. It's obviously incorrect. And they're just saying it to like an ad hominem, basically. It's basically ad hominem. Vegans kill more animals. That's crop deaths though. Where do I put this one? So it's just basically from lack of knowledge, but also most people are just doing it to like appeal to hypocrisy kind of situation. Yeah, it's one of those things that I wouldn't put in brain rot because it's just lack of knowledge, isn't it? It's one of those things. If veganism was about just like sparing the most animal lives, simpliciter, and if animals weren't eating crops and silage and stuff, if like their food wasn't harvested, if combines actually killed a lot of animals, if I don't know, insect deaths that we can't even count were counted, right? It's kind of plausible that if all of those stipulations were true, so basically if veganism wasn't formulated the way it is, and if all of those things were true, if animals were like subsiding on air, and if we couldn't say that we probably could fix it in the vegan world, then it would be correct, frankly, right? Then it would debunk veganism. Crop deaths, though. But it's just like so incorrect. And we've proven it time and time and again, and we continue just proving it again and again, every fucking single day. We keep dealing with this argument. So, yeah. But because it's an appeal to hypocrisy, I would put it in gross, because it is usually like an appeal to hypocrisy. They're not being genuine. They don't care about animals, so it's gross. They're just using animals as like a talking point. We are smarter than animals. So, yeah, this one I would put in gross, because how the fuck does that justify slaughtering animals? Imagine if I did this by actual, like, going point by point and actually had, like, rigorous criteria for this. This would take absolute literal ages. I've been live for 2 hours. Almost done, guys, almost done. I'm just glad that I'm going by feelings, mostly, the way vegans do. I was actually told this by a person a few days ago. Oh, vegans just go by feelings. I'm like, I just literally laid it out for you logically. What the fuck are you talking about? So fucking annoying. What about your phone close? So this is like a diffusion of responsibility again. No, but I actually would call it gross. I would call it gross, because how the fuck can you compare the exploitation and loss of sentient life for unnecessary stuff with like just like potential rights violations or something like that? That's just gross. What about zoos? What the fuck about them? So this is again just like a question, because people don't know. People just don't know about like they haven't thought about exploitation. That they're still not seeing animals through the for what they are, sentient animals. They're still like viewing sentient animals as viewing animals as lesser than us, okay, to exploit and shit like that. But it's a genuine question, in my opinion, and it's not an argument, so I'm going to put it in D tier. The next one is, where do you get your protein? Classic. So where do you get your protein? I would say is brain rot, because I think everybody knows that there is protein in plants. Everybody knows this. And the last one is, you don't know what animals want. You know what, guys? I'm gonna let you decide. Put 1 in the chat for D, put 2 in the chat for F, put 3 in the chat for gross, 4 for brain rot, and 5 for plant sentience. Where shall we put this argument? You don't know what animals want. 1 for D, 2 for F, 3 for gross, 4 for brain rot, and 5 for plant sentience. Holy shit, there's too many. Alpha Cara says 2, No Injustice Lasts Forever says 3, Richard says 4, Pia says 4, Vogon Poetry says 5, Vegan Marshmallow says 3, and Tone says 4, Jason says 3, Bianca says 4. Yeah, I think 4s are the most. I think 4 stop voting. Michelle says 4. What's up, Michelle? Yeah, I think brain rot won, and we are putting this one in brain rot. There you go. Guys, perfect. Look at that. So, in conclusion, A, B, and C, 4 arguments against veganism don't exist. D is mostly questions, genuine questions. F is mostly diffusion of responsibility, trying to cuddle the cogdis. That's what basically F. Gross is just like blatant rights violations and just like not considering animals at all. Brain rot is mostly naturalistic fallacy, I think, and just like complete disregard of sentient life. And plant sentience holds the most arguments in it, and it's just like tier of yeah, just like brain death, absolute brain death. What's up, the blue duck? The blue duck, did you think about the things that we talked about? You are the child who is exploited on a farm, aren't you? If I remember correctly. And you're gonna say, no, but I wanted to. That doesn't mean anything. You are still exploited on a farm. You are free labor, child labor. That's wrong thing to do to somebody, to a child. Is that you? Have you had a thought about everything that we discussed? You need vegan internet hugs to raise Leva. Well, maybe. All right, guys. In conclusion, I think we did a good job here. By the way, if you want this tier maker, I made it permanent. I signed up and shit. Here it is. If you want it, if you want to play this game by yourself or on your YouTube channel, it is also on my site. I put it here in games, memes, and tier list. So if you want to bump my site visibility, please use this link instead. Oh, not this. Fuck me again. Remove. Not this one. This one. Jesus, I forget every single time that I'm like the developer of this thing. I shouldn't give you the link of that I'm developing on. Funny. Anyways, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you, everybody, for subscribing. Let's see my subscription count just for 1 second. Where did we get that? Where did we get? Well, we're 10 people away. That's okay. We can get there at some point. Please consider going watching one of my videos just to add some watch hours. Something that you haven't seen, because if you have seen it, that's not going to count. When we're reacting to a vid, yeah. Or are you asking when are we going to react to another video? Maybe next week. Yeah, the Blue Doc, you're welcome to come back. I'll do, you know what? I'll find a video to react to just for you. Okay, now I know what I'm doing next week. Just need to find the video. If you know which video I should react to, please send it to me to postmortem.vegan@gmail.com. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.